Hey everybody, Kenny Wisdom here for On the Bubble, and today we're going to take a look at Paul Johnston's first place Washington State's metal deck. So, for those of you that are familiar with the metal deck, we have basically an engine run by Bronzong. You can see his Metal Link's ability allows you to attach metal energy cards from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. Metal Link's very reminiscent of Dynamotor on the Electric from Noble Victories. And then we have a bunch of metal attackers. Aegislash is one of them. Its Mighty Shield ability prevents all damage done by attacks from each of your opponent's Pokemon that has special energy, so Seismitoad, a lot of the time not going to be able to get through on this guy. A lot of the fighting decks run the strong energy. Anything with rainbow energy, that sort of thing, not going to do a lot to Aegislash. And then his Slash Blast attack does 20 damage for each energy attached to this Pokemon after a base 40. So if you have, let's say, 3 metal, going to be doing 100. So pretty good, beefy EX with 170 hit points. We also have 2 copies of Dialga EX. Its Chrono Wind attack, as you can see, does 60 and prevents EX from attacking. And then for 4, it can do 150. So basically, you're relying on Pokemon that have kind of restrictive energy costs, but thanks to Bronzong, you can power those out more quickly. We've also got Cobalion EX, a card that's seen play in the past. It's been out for a while now. Righteous Edge is pretty efficient attack, 1 for 30, discard a special energy attached to the defending, and then Steel Bullet for 100, and it goes through weakness and any other effect. So similar to Shred, which is a classic attack. In the non-metal department, we have Mewtwo EX. This deck does play 4 double colorless energy, so he can be taken advantage of. And then you have Secret Sword Keldeo EX, good for rushing in, using its ability. And also, with DCEs and metals, you can use Secret Sword. It's not going to be as effective as it would be all the time, but I guess against decks that are water weak, it's definitely a thing. And then you have, of course, Jirachi. Is a metal type, but isn't attacked with too much, mostly used for a Stellar Guidance ability. Going through the supporters, we have 4 Juniper and 4 N. Pretty classic counts, the best supporters in the format. We've got 1 Colress, 2 Lysander, 1 AZ. This is kind of an interesting one. It puts one of your Pokemon back into your hand. And then 1 Lysander's trump card to buy all these cards back, as well as 1 Xerosic. Xerosic can be good for knocking off tools like head ringers that are on your Pokemon. Also can set back your opponents who are using special energy. And moving on to the items, we've got 4 Ultra Balls, pretty standard. We have 3 Virtus Seeker, 1 Battle Compressor, mainly used to get metal energy into the discard pile. Can also be used as a discard. If you draw it in the middle of the game, you can discard some cards you don't want to draw to thin your deck out. We've got a Computer Search, our ace pick of choice. Max Potion. A lot of these guys are pretty beefy, and you can do things like, pay 2 or 3 to retreat, Max Potion it off before you pay 2 or 3 retreat, Max Potion it off, and then Metal Links 2 or 3 times, and then rush in, things like that. And yeah, that's basically the deck. We also have 3 copies, of Steel Shelter. Oh, we have 2 copies. 2 copies of Steel Shelter. Gonna let your metal Pokemon not be able to be affected by special conditions. Floatstone and Muscle Band. Floatstone works very well with Keldeo, and kind of all these guys are pretty heavy on the old retreat costs. And then Muscle Band, just, all these guys, their attacks are fine, but kind of energy intensive, like I said. And, 3 energy for 100 is fine, 3 energy for 120 with a Muscle Band is a lot better. Come down here, we've got 8 copies of Metal and 4 DCE. Pretty standard, I think. Almost all of your Pokemon can benefit from attacking with DCE, and of course you need the basic Metal. So yeah, that's the deck. Paul Johnston, who some of you might know, he's a Team X-Files member who has qualified for Worlds several times, took a break from the game in the later 2000s, and I think came back in the 2013 season. Barely missed a Worlds invite there, missed it by I think one match at the U.S. Nationals Last Chance qualifiers, essentially. But qualified last year, has qualified this year, one of the top slots in Washington. ended up winning states with the deck. Very good player. You know, he's had a history of being at the top of the game, so I trust his input on the deck. Hope you got a lot out of this. We are going to be jumping into a standard 8-person tournament, so definitely stay tuned to the playlist and you'll see those matches coming right up.